So, I'm from Queens. I'm born and raised like the Queens Village, Shadyville area, I moved over to 179 in Hillside area.
You remember people getting robbed for their jackets? Bro,
Yo, people don't understand how different Queens was.
Who was getting robbed for anything?
Everything.
Yo, Marmots,
Yo,
gone.
the sidekicks, gone.
Text, gone.
So you always running into people you got beef with. So, Black Ash is not good. That's that. If you gave me something that was that trash, I've never said no. The first day there, somebody got caught with a in there. Now, things can smoke good, look good, smell good, but they don't really got no taste to it, man. It tastes like cardboard. It tastes bland. You know what I'm saying? You can't even pick it up. You got to be trained in picking up that palate.
What is up, everybody? It's the Queens on the Map podcast. Today we got a special guest with us, our friend Robb Reefa, new reviewer, would you say? New content creator, all kinds in the media space.
All that.
Let's get into this. So today, you just came back from PIFCon.
That's right. Second annual PIFCon 2023. Shout out Piff Coast Farms, the whole team over there. It was definitely a vibe, definitely a movie. Congrats to all the winners. Congrats to all the judges. Congrats to everybody a part of it. And shout out to all the folks who were participating, who were there in attendance, because it was definitely energy in the room. So it was good to be a part of. I think it was good for New York too.
How was it compared to last year?
So I actually didn't go to the last year one, to be honest. I was sort of, I guess, fairly fresh to the reviewing thing. I think I was like a year into the reviewing thing. So it wasn't really on my radar as much as it was this year, So I really couldn't tell you. But from what I heard and from what I understand, it was definitely a dope event as well, But I think there was a lot more people this time around from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I first seen you, I guess, around. This shit's dumb hot in here, bro.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I'm
it's
sweating
hot
bullets. It's not even hot yet here. In the weather. But basically, I seen you doing your things for I think 2 to 3 years now, as far as I seen it. Mm-hmm. And I think the first time I saw you was around 420 in George Washington Square Park.
Yeah.
And so tell me how long you've been in this, just content creation and just everything.
Well, I would say I first started really dabbling with it a little after the pandemic, right? Well, I guess it was sort of in the pandemic, after 2020. So 2021, January, February 2021, that's when I was like, you know what? Let me start messing with this TikTok thing. And start speaking on some of the weeds that I'm coming across. I didn't necessarily have reviewing in mind. I was just going to tell niggas if I thought it was valid or not, some shit that I came across. Because at that time, there was a lot of $80 apes, $90 apes, $100, $120 apes, you feel me? And niggas was like, I guess it was the pandemic going on. Shit was crazy around this, so niggas was getting away with it, you feel me?
Yeah.
But I had to let niggas know if it was some boof or if it was the truth, because there was a lot of bread being spent on this weed for a fucking eighth.
So from doing reviews, you wanted to really just put your if you think it's fire, you didn't really care about really going big with it, or you already had a plan with marketing it and everything?
No, not at all. It was just more like, I smoked some shit today. Look, I'm gonna talk about it, and I wanted to kind of think. So, to be honest, bringing it back before even the reviewing and even the content thing, I knew that I wanted to do something with cannabis because it was consuming so much of my life. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everything I did needed weed around it. I had that's why I even got the name Reefa. You feel me? Because I was the only one with the reefer around my friends. You feel me? And my name was Robb.
What?
So.
Yeah, what I like about how you do your reviews is that you do it in a very different way, where first off, you don't show the flower at all, which I really took note of. You don't show. What's the reason behind that?
So I actually do show the flower, and if you look at some of my earlier videos, and not necessarily videos, highlights. If you look at some of my highlights, you'll see that I posted on my story a lot. Okay. So I post the weed on my story, but if I'm talking about the weed, I kind of wanted you to pay attention to what I was talking about. And I didn't think I was going to do that while I was going to show you the weed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'll show you the weed, and I can make my notes on it, and you can look for my notes and when you're looking at the weed. And now, also with IG being so restrictive towards cannabis, it's like I'm building something that I kind of value, and I don't want it going down for some weed. You know what I mean? Like,
you build something up for so long, and then somebody reports it or something, and they take it down. Yeah. No, I think it's very smart, and I think it makes you stand out more. Mm-hmm. So where it's like, you're saying you're still posting it, so if you're tuned in, you're going to get to see the weed and everything.
100%.
But just on the post-wise, it's just so for IG, they don't like, do that. And I like that you do your own thing with the background in the back, and you've been doing it, I'd say, since the COVID days I've been watching you try. So can you, I like the way you have your, how do you say, like, how you judge the cannabis, right?
The reefer rating.
Yeah, the reefer rating, I like that, yeah. So you got the smell, the looks, the smoke, the taste, the high, and the memorable, right? So could you just give us a description on just all those little things and how you, like, tell me about, like, the smell? Yeah,
absolutely. So, I had to try to, like, for one, I appreciate that, and thank you. And I like what you're doing right now with Queens on the map, okay? Because this is fucking big. Queens need this. You know what I'm saying? So that's, kudos to you on that. And as far as with that, I felt like being that I wanted to do something with cannabis, I was trying to figure it out on how to do it, and I started getting on YouTube and seeing what different things that people were talking about with cannabis, and a common thing was reviews. You know what I'm saying? I started seeing, like, okay, there's just a lot of people talking about, the weed they're smoking. They're going in depth to it. So I'm like, all right, I want to do reviews too. But then I guess it's the way that I was brought up. You got to have your own individuality. You got to have your own thing to something. And I didn't want to just be doing the same type of reviews everybody else was doing, like, showing the weed, talking about it. Even the live reviews, even some live reviews are good. It just seems so mundane, So what I noticed was green screens was getting popping at the time, especially with TikTok was popping off. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll take the bag, throw the bag in the backdrop, and I'll just, I'll get in front and, throw my character in front of the screen and tell people, about the smoke and encourage them to start paying attention to the smoke, because that's what I was doing. Slowly but surely I started paying more and more attention to my smoke, and I brought my audience along for that ride, and in that journey that's continuing. So, as far as that, that's kind of what the thought process was in terms of the uniqueness to the review. Now, with the reefer rating, I seen people having all types of different scales. None of them seemed like anything concrete.
Yeah.
Nobody's scale seems like, oh, that's how you should judge it. Like, it's all kind of like subjective, so to speak. It's all very subjective. So therefore, I felt like I could put my twist to it. If when you look at
I feel like you don't really have like a, sorry to cut you off, but you don't have like a rating. It's more like a review, or it's more like a description, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
it's more my opinion on what I smoked, and me just describing what I thought of it in those type of categories. So when I'm describing what I thought of some a smoke, like if I was to smoke one of these strains here on the table, my first thing would be the smell. Now, the smell is something so it's either a check or an X. So if you get a check on the smell, it's because it's there, it's present, you can pick it up. It's like it's got a strong smell. And then I could go into descripting what it is. You know what I mean?
There's now, can you tell the difference between, like, if it's a bad smell in a good way or a bad smell in a bad way?
I would say most things, if it's a smell that's present, that's a good thing.
Okay.
Now, some weeds stink. Some weed, that's their nature, is to smell like old shoes and old sneakers and, old churches and shit, know? So that's something you got to keep in mind when you're looking at the smell, right? Like, is it supposed to smell like that?
Yeah.
So the check mark is more so if the smell is there, if there's a present smell. Then we go into the appeal, right? The what they call that, the bag appeal. I call it the look. The check is that one is super subjective, right? Because it's just really, do I think it's appealing? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? For what it is, too. You can't get something that grows, like there's a Skittles strain. Skittles is known to look bad. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've seen the Skittles and you say that look bad, like, bro, that strain looks bad. You feel me? So, I've seen certain Skittles strains though that for that strain it's appealing. So I'd give it a check. So that's kind of just how I feel about it. Also, I notice a lot of people they don't package the weed well at all. Like they leave the bud squished and listen, shout out white boy Kev. He popped the gusset on his bag. You know what I'm saying? Pop the gusset on your bags. Protect your weed. Don't give somebody some squished up weed. You know what I'm saying?
Pop a what?
Pop the gusset. That's what they call it. Okay. They call it at the bottom of the bag the gusset. So pop that shit. So this way it creates a little bit of a barrier in the bag, so it holds the weed a little bit better. So it preserves it a bit. Because when somebody's getting something, the presentation does mean a lot. So that's where the look comes in. It's the presentation. It's the appeal of the weed. Then, the next thing I believe is the smoke.
Yes.
So the smoke now is in terms of if it's harsh, if it's smooth. It's more of the smoke experience. Just if you were to isolate that. If we're just gonna roll it up and blindly now we're smoking it with our eyes closed, is it enjoyable? So that's where it gets a check or an X. If I'm coughing, if I can't enjoy the smoke, it may hit, it may even taste good, but the smoke experience is not enjoyable. So if it's enjoyable, it's a check. So it does, things don't really vary too far in between. Usually they're smooth or they're not. Or slightly in between. Maybe it's smooth in the beginning, harsh in the end, harsh in the beginning. Well, usually if it's harsh in the beginning, it's harsh all the way through. So there's that for the smoke.
You got the high.
I believe is the taste, the next one, right?
Yeah.
Then we go into the taste because now things can smoke good, look good, smell good, but they don't really got no taste to it, man. It tastes like cardboard. It tastes bland. You know what I'm saying? You can't even pick it up. You got to be trained in picking up that palate. You know what I'm saying? So that's which is okay. Certain that comes with time. But certain things, there's a taste that's there that anybody can pick up. There's like, if you just started smoking weed for the first time, you'll even know this tastes like something because it's present. So that's where I would give it a check on taste. And an X is if the taste wasn't there, or if it tastes like something I don't think it should taste, like cardboard or smoke, or it just didn't taste good to me. Because taste is another somewhat subjective thing. Then is the high. So did I feel a buzz? Did I get high? Yes or no? That's what it is. And then in the caption, I go into the description of the high, right? Whether my experience, how high it got me, how I felt, this, I'll describe the high. But first off, I just like to kind of let people know, is it a yes or a no? So this is why I have the check or X method. So check on high, X on high. And then the memorable thing. That's something I adapted later on into the reviewing process because I noticed some things can check all of those first few categories, but not necessarily be memorable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, yeah, it was good. It got me high. It tasted good. Tasted decent. Smoke was cool. Nothing memorable. It's a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? And that's why I felt
what makes it memorable for you?
I'm glad you asked. So it's got to be something extraordinary, and it could be in any of those categories, and it could be, but it has to be related to the weed. Like, the weed itself has to be memorable. Like, the presentation can carry some weight into it. Even sometimes the miler can get a notable mention, but when it comes to memorability of the strain, it has to be something within those factors that's just extraordinary. You know what I mean?
Like, what's one that stuck out to you?
Well,
for the memorable check, at least.
Memorable. So for instance, recently I had the grapefruit sour. Shout out Piff Coast Farms. I forgot the Trade Winds, the Trade Winds company for breeding that. The grapefruit sour has such a notable nose to it. You can smell it across the room. That's something you're not gonna forget. If you smell that grapefruit grapefruit chem, you'll know that you won't forget it. You won't forget it. So that's something I had recently, and was at PIFCon. So a ton of people probably grabbed that up over there. But
now, would you have? Do you have these moments where, do you feel like you're not gonna post something bad? Like, if it's gonna be like, if you smoke it or you look at, like, Like with that, like, do you feel like you don't want to post any super bad review? It's not even worth it, or how do you feel
If I
about
paid
that?
my money for something or something came to me via like, yo, like it was told like, yo, you could just say what you want. Like someone gave me the weed, then I'll do the bad review. I like, you know, is especially if I paid my money. You feel me? It's gonna be said. But typically, when people give me their weed, they're not giving me their weed thinking that I'm gonna shit on even, you know. And I do give them the courtesy of letting them know, yo, listen, you know, this is gonna be an honest review, and I'll sometimes send them the post and kind of let them know like, hey, this is how I felt about it. If I do post about it, this is gonna be the post.
Would you tell somebody like, no, bro, not yet? No, don't even give me this yet. Don't hold this back right now. Don't.
No, because they should know that. They should know that if you gave me something that was that trash, and because you know
you're willing to say no to it, or you're just be like, all right, bro, I just said yes, like for the moment. I didn't want to press him. I didn't want to press it.
You know, I've never said no. I never said no to nobody, and in terms of accepting it, but I've let them know like. Sometimes when I won't review something, I've had people give me stuff. I'm like, bro, I'm not reviewing that. So you know, it's up to you if you still want to give it to me. So I guess I have. Yeah, I have told people, yo, I'm bugged the fuck out.
Yeah, I have like, told not people this one, bro. You don't want this. I don't want this. This not gonna help nobody.
Like, yo, 22, you actually, I'm fucked up, man. Because I definitely have told people that. People keep trying to give you the same goddamn lemon cherry gelato, dude. I'm not reviewing that no more.
How long? In just your reviews, have you seen the common factor of lemon cherry gelato where you keep thinking it's something else, but it ends up being lemon cherry gelato?
A lot. And, you know, it's almost like I don't mind smoking lemon cherry gelato. In fact, I think that the lemon cherry gelato runs, you know, that whole sort of pheno of that is going to be around for a long time and may even have its own competitions, you know. So because it's a great strain. That's a strain where if somebody has it for the first time, they're gonna pick up some flavor off that. So I get it. It would be like that with any strain, right? If I saw any strain the same amount of times, it would anything too repetitive. You know, you don't want to be around that. You know, you don't want to. You know, so. But yeah, so you know, there's that. I have said no to a lot of lemon cherry gelato reviews, dude. You would be, it's crazy. It's crazy.
When you're doing the reviews, right? Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel like it's getting too repetitive with the same things, or like do you have to like do you ever try to like want to do like reviews on low packs, or do you want to stay on the higher brand and stuff?
You know, it's never I'm on the high stuff. Oh, I'm only doing low stuff thing for me. It's what I'm coming across. You know, I can only speak on what I'm coming across. It was never I'm trying to review the latest weed. You know, there's a lot of people out there who do that. You know, you can tap in with them. Maybe from my page you'll pick up from one.
But you're willing to work with all kinds of.
I'm willing. I'm gonna speak on the weed that I'm coming across. I'm gonna tell you guys about the weed that I'm coming across. I'm gonna let you guys know about what I'm currently on. You know. Shout out Monte Agua, man. Listen, this pomegranate punching, okay, and damn, this is a good tasting juice, man. Shout out Monte Agua. I had a little bit while I was waiting.
Nice. So back to how much flower do you smoke to actually give it a review?
I like to have minimum 2, but at least like 3 spliffs, like joints.
Like at least around 3 grams, like a whole eighth?
Yeah, eighth ideally. Because you know, you can have a different experience just based on a setting. You know, so you need to have it in multiple different settings to see if the experience is consistent.
Yeah, I had a big question about that. I feel like sometimes joints can be different depending on if you're in your room and how much have you smoked in your room, depending on also different from being outside or being in a car. I feel like, do you ever feel like the smoke is different from there? The humidity around where you're smoking and stuff?
I feel like the smoke can be different based on like any type of setting. Like, so in short, yeah, for sure, it'd be different. Sometimes it hits you, it don't hit you till you get inside. Like, while you smoking outside, you like, what the fuck? It's not even hit. You get inside, rush. You feel me? The high rush over you. You feel me? So, for sure. So
let's get into more in your background. Like, so where did you grow up at?
Okay. So I'm from Queens. I'm born and raised. I grew up like the Queens Village, Shadyville area.
No way.
Yeah. But like
I'm from Queens Village.
Okay, yeah, man. So
that's crazy.
Small world. World.
That's crazy. That's so funny.
I used
Where
to.
you used to be by?
So I lived by 222 in Jamaica Avenue for a little bit.
That's crazy.
I lived by there. Then I moved over to 179 in Hillside area.
179 and 179 Deli. That's the spot.
Yeah,
that's the spot for the chopped cheeses.
You understand? So you know what's going on.
Everybody that comes to here, even I think it was LMC, everybody that comes to New York know that I will bring you to 179 Deli and bring you to the spot. Like they always love it. And it used to be 24 hours, right? When you were
it was always 24 hours.
Now it's 12.
Dang.
COVID.
That's
different.
Crazy.
Yo, I can't believe we're from the same hood. So did you go to school around there and shit?
I went to Jamaica all 4 years.
Oh, shit. Yeah. We probably know the same people, too, because a lot of kids I went to Flushing High School. Okay. So all the kids from Jamaica, Hollis, and Cambria Heights, everybody ended up going to Flushing High School because I think Jamaica High School closed down and shit.
True. Yeah, and I think they got like 4 different schools in there, something like that. 5 different schools or something.
Yeah, definitely. When I was in there, we had one school in there, and it was a private school, which really was weirdly bummy. To have a private school in a public school.
Yeah, it's fucked up for the kids. I mean, imagine that. You got to go in a fucking uniform, and you got to see motherfuckers in regular
clothes. It was Catholic kids. It was like white Catholic kids, basically. And then we used to just bully them. Like we didn't bully them like we only saw them passing by in the hallway. Like they would have a line of them passing by the hallway going to the gym class. And that's the only time we would see them. It was just probably like make fun of them or something. Because, we were just mad we wasn't in private school.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, you were in Flushing. What are you doing here? Like
it don't even make sense. Yeah. It don't even make sense. That is not the place. Why didn't they do it at St. Francis,
Exactly.
Or some other private school, you feel me?
Yeah. Queens Village, how was it when you were there?
It's
different now. It's a lot more chill now.
Is it?
It's super chill. So older folks are there, more Indian, like Guyanese type of. They all spread out there, so not really. The Trini
Guyanese community, they heavy in that area, and if you spent the summer in Queens Village because there's backyard parties, there's loud music. It's actually that's all of Queens. That's all of like that South Queens area where you got like South Old Zone. There's a lot of them. Out there's the little Guyana area.
This is the melting pot, basically. You get to learn so many different cultures just being in Queens.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's just the way I was brought up. Like Queens, you see so much diverse people that you you end up just finding a sense of individuality, if that makes sense, because it's just of the diversity. Everybody has a bunch of different backgrounds that they're from. There's such a melting pot that there's a little bit of a mix of everything and everywhere, So,
everybody got a group of friends that's mixed cultural group of friends. It's rare to find like the same type of people in a group. There's usually always like you got a brown kid, an Asian kid. He's always a mixture. Everybody's showing up to people's houses. They know their moms. They know the culture.
I went to like middle school in Bayside, so this mad Asian.
No way. If you tell me you went to the same middle school as me,
I went to PS46.
Okay.
Oh no.
I
was
about to say
that's the elementary.
Yeah, I was
I'm wild.
They taught him different.
I went to MS-74.
Oh, that's crazy. I went to 158.
Okay.
That's on Northern and Oceana.
Oh yeah. Not too far because we're right off Oceana. So
yeah, you know where the Staples was on Northern and Bayside?
Yeah.
Right off the couple blocks away from there.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to steal from that Staples all the time, bro.
That's funny.
What was you doing as a kid? Like I was doing graffiti, so what was you like as a kid?
So as a kid, there wasn't I didn't have much. Well, no, actually, I did swimming. What are you talking about?
Nah, what did you do? What was your shenanigans? What was you up to at high school? Like high school, getting out of middle school.
Oh, okay.
The troublemaking time.
Yeah, you see, I definitely tried to avoid. I wasn't sure if you was trying to get into that. Talking about swimming.
Unless you was like killing people. Like it's like I wasn't trying to get couple people,
Nah, I mean,
they gave me bad reviews, so I had to do what I had to.
Where my first instance of reviews.
Yeah, it wasn't real memorable,
Listen, man. I mean, when I was young, I was always looking for fun. I was always looking to just turn something up, So, but also, I feel like I was also kind of influenced a lot by my environment, so to say. So I was on whatever shit, people around me was on, which is, they was kind of messing with the gangs a little bit. So Did that a little bit. Thank God I didn't spend too much time doing all of that. That was kind of like from end of middle school to like early high school years. And then once that kind of stopped, early high school, that kind of stopped. Like once I realized like it makes more sense to just stay on your own tent and be your own fucking person. And this gang shit is stupid.
Yeah.
I just stopped it. It was like 16, and then I was more into getting my shit together, like my car, wanting to drive. Like once I turned like 16 and like closer to 17, really, it was like late 16. I was just trying to get some money, so I was trying to get a job. I was trying to pay for my car. I was driving, so we was into the racing because that came right after learning how to drive. Learning how to drive, I had a little job, so I was able to get a little car. Shout out my cousin, she gave me the car. I was able to maintain the car with the job, and it was a hoopty. But you know,
what kind of job was you doing?
I was making ice cream. I'm working at Cold Stone on Union Turnpike. Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
By St. John's.
Let's go.
That's my first job.
Yeah. You remember people getting robbed for their jackets? Yo, Marmots
gone.
The Mervs, Steve Tech's gone.
The Sidekicks gone.
You see a dude with a Marmot, North Face, and a Pele. And this one dude with 3 jackets on Hillside walking around. He'd be like, don't get close to that guy,
right,
bro. You see the BB bell hanging? You're like, I don't know about that one, bro.
Yo, people don't understand how different Queens was.
He was getting robbed for anything.
Everything. And not only that, but like all the high schools kind of would converge in the same places. So you always running into people you got beef with. You always running into them. The bus stop, the bus terminals.
Everybody meeting up on Parsons and starting all by the courts. Everybody had court. There was mad kids that had court. I had court. I had to go to family court mad times, bro.
Right
that
there.
44 was so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. Court is definitely where you meet the people you don't want to meet. You're like, fuck, I see him. Like,
for sure. Yo, let me ask you something. So, you know, Queens, they got a few popping pizzerias that's kind of historic there. What's your favorite pizzeria?
Whoa. I don't know. I just had Gabby's right before this. Wasn't popping.
See?
Wasn't popping, though. They changed the recipe, but I just had this before I got here.
Gabby's, tell me y'all didn't do that.
Yo, bro, you know, you heard of Good Pizza, right?
Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast. Okay, they was out here. They was in Queens Village. They pulled up to the cribbo. I took them to Gabby's. I don't know. I crossed my fingers. I'm not going to lie. My cat peed on my shoes when I was with them, so I had to dip out, and I lied, and I said my dehumidifier had to get emptied, and I ran out of the store. I wasn't too far, so I ran back home. Because, bro, my cat peed on my shoe. I didn't want to be in the restaurant. I looked type bummy. Yeah, and he didn't tell me he had friends showing up to the restaurant. I didn't want to be that guy that's, like, super bummy.
Right.
And I'm the one showing him around. Like, I was like, bro, you enjoy order. I'm going to be out. I got to go dehumidifier water. So if you seeing this, my bad, I lied, but I had to get back home. my shoes.
Come on. You didn't want to smell like cat
but
piss.
Gabby's, bro, I think what happened is that
that was
I used to love it.
That was my spot. I grew up off Gabby's.
Gabby's is the za of Queens Village on pizza. Like, if somebody's asking for za pizza, that's like probably Gabby's, or I don't know if you fuck with singers.
I don't. I ain't gonna lie. I don't fuck with no singers.
You've had it?
I've had it. Not thrilled. It's like, I'm over it.
Okay.
I like spots like like when I say I grew up, like Friday night at Gabby's was a thing for my family.
That parking lot.
Yeah, like just going there, getting treated to pizza, you know, and getting the ice. That was a thing. Like all through the summer, like it was almost on a day. Like I was at Gabby's at sometimes like 3-4 times a week. You know, like. That was just a place that was part of my childhood.
You got Gabby's. You have. You said in Queens or just Queens Village? You said
like
Queens.
In Queens, because then you got the spot on Jamaica Ave
for pizza.
Yeah, margaritas.
Okay, put me on. I don't know. I didn't. I grew up in Flushing.
Okay.
I moved to QV like later type shit.
Okay.
Like, well, recent type shit. Like, you know, so I only know like. Well, my homies have put me on from that hood, but I know a decent amount by now. But yeah, you saying put me on to the one on Jamaica?
Jamaica was Margaritas. Margaritas was the next best.
Where we at on Jamaica?
We're by like by Gertz Mall, across the street from Gertz Mall. You remember Gertz Mall?
What's the streets?
Guy Brewer in Jamaica.
Oh, that's the hood. Anything by Guy Brewer.
Yeah, well, y'all listen. So I done been up and down.
I didn't know Guy Brewer in Jamaica meet.
Yeah, Guy Brewer go all the way from Jamaica all the way down to I think. Is it Rockaway?
Can you tell me the name again?
Or it goes past Rockaway.
Mimi's?
No, Margaritas. Margaritas, yeah.
Spell that for me real quick. M-A-R-G-A.
Listen, there you go. You on the right track.
Margarita. Yo, this is Margaritaville. I mean, it's a hospital. Margarita what? Margaritas?
Margaritas Pizza, yeah.
Margaritas Pizza. Let's see. There, Cypress Ave, Jamaica Avenue, Margarita's Pizza.
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, they closed on Sundays. I didn't even know that. Where are they?
I think it's by.
Oh, that is Guy Brewer.
Yeah, dude, right by Girls. Yeah, man. Come on, man.
Guy Brewer. Oh shit, I didn't know America and Jamaica meet. Wow. Wow, I didn't even fucking know that. All right, fire. I gotta check that one out. Definitely got good reviews on this too.
Well, I mean, if Gabby's done changed up, which was crazy to me because it was a family running Gabby. Yeah. So if Gabby's done changed up, I don't even know how Margarita's handling.
I had them before I got here, right? And me and my shorty had them, and the sauce seemed a little bit cheaper. The cheese maybe was all right. The bread was not crispy. And we ain't even gonna lie, bro. We probably gonna need you to do an episode of just reviewing pizzas through the hood, bro.
I might have to do that in Chinese food because Chinese food is another big thing for me, man.
Strains and food, bro. Go together.
Strains and food do go together. There's a lot to come.
So you got the one on you said Jamaica, and I said the one Gabby's Pizza, and there's Main Street Flushing.
I do.
Okay, so you know where Macy's is, on Main Street in Flushing by the 7 train station. Across the street from I forgot the name of the spot, but where the GameStop used to be, there's a pizzeria there. That one was bussin', and then VI Pizza in Bayside on Bell Boulevard. Used to be the spot back in the day.
Yeah, pizza.
Yeah, that was the first pizza I ever got when I came to this country. So like that one was fire. Regular slices and everything, and yeah, that was the spots. Yeah, that was it. What about you?
I mean, in terms of spots for food and
Christina's.
Nah, like I'm a big Caribbean food type person, so it would have to be Jamaican Flavors. That's in Springfield Gardens. Shout out Jamaican Flavors, Springfield Gardens. It would have to be Yardies off on Linden. Most Yardies is valid.
Make sure the mic is a little bit close.
Oh, yeah. Yardies, Yardies is a big one for me. I love Yardies. In terms of Queens restaurants. Listen, all the Haitian restaurants, I'm bugged the fuck out.
You're more into the Caribbean food. And I don't know how. What's your favorite food on that one? What do you like to get on when you're smacked, like when you're just high?
Yo, listen. First of all, let me bring it to the Haitian food because I don't know how I mentioned Jamaican food before Haitian food. I'm actually Haitian, right? So my mom, my pops, they both. Well, my boule, we here, man. So I love.
So it's facts and shit. I just found out.
Yeah. I think he's half Haitian. Yeah. For sure. Shout out Facts, man. Shout out the whole Wake and Bake show. The Haitian restaurants I would go to was Brassé Creole and Good Taste. Okay, which is they right down the block from each other. They're kind of next to each other. And Good Taste has the best mac and cheese.
They make the best mac and cheese.
Nah, dude. The best mac and cheese, bro. Like they be selling out of their mac and cheese before they sell out anything else.
Wait, give me the name again.
This is Good Taste. This is I've been out of Queens for a little bit.
Pizzeria or
no. So this is a Haitian food restaurant.
Haitian food.
It's called Good Taste. It's Haitian food. It's in Cambria Heights. Cambria Heights.
Linden Boulevard.
Yes, sir. Then there's another one, Brassé Creole. Well, I'll let you look at Good Taste first.
Good reviews. These spots got good reviews.
Yeah, man, I know what I'm talking about, man. Come on, man.
You was definitely you was by the belt or no? You was hanging by the belt? These are spots by the belt.
Yeah, well, listen, I would race a lot, so everything off the highway. I would run all the highways in Queens because they connect.
You seen the Maxos videos?
The who?
Yeah, exactly. So nowadays, people that like race on the Bell Parkway or the Cross Island, if you crash your car super hard, they call it Maxos.
Oh, the Max Stars. Yeah. And that's from the no hezzy, and all of that. Yeah.
I
no
just
hesitation.
started seeing the videos on people saying, "Oh, he magged and everything." And I would
Max
always
sauce.
see, I'm like, "Where's the Cross Island? They always crash it out."
Always
in the Cross
crash.
Island.
They wild and the
Brookner or whatever, and the Bell Parkway.
Yup. The Bell Park. Yo, listen. Not the Van Wyck. The Van Wyck will fuck niggas up too. But the Jackie.
The Jackie I take over. Yeah.
Listen, bro. You have to earn your right of passage and do your damn thing on the Jackie. Okay? If you couldn't maneuver on the Jackie, you're not valid. You're not valid. Especially on that turn.
I would drive on the Jackie at nighttime, and it was almost a given somebody was gonna be like dead or an accident. Like, you was going to get annoyed at this. You was going to be in traffic like, yo, bro, just die somewhere else.
Right. Yo, there would always be traffic at night on the Jackie because someone
got flipped upside down. And it's like, bro, there's 2 lanes, bro. It's 2 lanes. It's curvy. Why you think this is Need for Speed most wanted? This Fast and Furious.
It tempts people, bro. It's narrow. It got 2 lanes. Well, that in the southern state for the exact opposite reason. The southern state's mad wide.
Yeah.
It's mad wide, but it's still curvy. You know, the Jackie's mad narrow. So it's like you gotta.
And they've been working on that Jackie for like 30 million years. That construction been going on forever.
It. Look, New York, they getting y'all, okay? Because what's going on?
Bro, they still doing construction on the airport. They've been making the airports new and everything. Yeah, all these city jobs, they just juice all that money. You know, they want to get that, what is it? They just want to get the job and they want to just do it. They get paid from the state. The longer they take, the more money they make. And everybody just wants to spend money anyway into it and just add it in. Always working on shit. Like, I used to work at the airport, bro, and, like, they don't give anybody that works there parking. So you have to park on the local street, right? And now you're beefing with everybody that lives in the local area. Right,
because you're taking their spots and shit. Yeah,
and there's so many people, bro, that work at the airport 24/7. So you're never, like, as a person living there, you're never going to find parking. Yeah.
Dang, and think about that.
Yo, and then, like, and people are just doing crazy shit where people are blocking people's driveways because they can't find a spot to squeeze and something like that. And then people put in complaints. And then how they built the airport all brand new and everything, put new terminals and spent billions of dollars in it. Still no parking for anybody that works there.
That's
Only for the people that make like $200,000-$300,000 a year. Which I'm like, they don't even need the parking, bro. They take Uber here.
Yeah,
they don't park. Why would they drive?
That's fucking fast.
Get $300,000. Why would you drive?
Oh, dang.
It's just tough for the little man out here, bro, in these streets.
It's tough, man.
When did you get first introduced to weed?
Well, actually, a little bit before Jamaica. It was in middle school. You know, there was an Asian dude. Yeah, Asian dude. And, you know, I guess his older brother had some weed, and he would bring the weed to school, and, you know, niggas would smoke behind the bagel store in the morning.
and then what? What was your first experience? Like, who put you on everything?
Well, I couldn't tell you who put me on. I really don't remember.
Oh, it
was just like some friends in school because that was really my first smoke experience. But we didn't smoke all the time like in middle school. It was like that was like an occasional thing, you know.
Okay. Wasn't everyday type shit after school.
Yeah, you know, that type shit. Like, you know, it wasn't that like that at all. I should say, in terms of everyday type after school. But with Jamaica High, when I got there, there would be niggas in the park, and that's when I would really start smoking, you know. I remember, and this is what I really count my first experience, because those times, like, it's weird. I couldn't say I really got high. Like, I don't know if it was maybe just the weed that he was getting. Maybe it was, you know, I have no idea what the fuck.
Was everybody acting high, or, like, yo, you look high, like, bro, your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, we would kind of be silly and feel like it, but, you know, looking back at it, I couldn't even say, like, it really...
But you think you were smoking, or you didn't know how to smoke back then?
I don't think I didn't know how to smoke. I couldn't say I knew how to smoke. And because that was like so early. I'm talking about like 12, 13.
What years are we talking?
Like 12, 13. And
like 2000.
Well, so, you know, I'm 31. So we're talking, shoot, is that like.
You look mad young, though, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought you was like 25 or some shit.
Man, I feel even younger, bro. Come on now.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. You know, I'm going to say like 02, 01.
Yeah. And then what are you guys smoking?
No. Was it 01? No, because it was like 02, 03, something like that.
What are you guys smoking, like paper-wise or like, roll-up-wise?
So it would be the Asian dude. He would just bring like a joint. You know, he'd bring a joint. So I don't know really what it was. You know, I didn't really get to see it. So, and when I got to Jamaica, though, that was like I always really count as my first experience, because Jamaica, they had this little place in the 4th floor, and that shit was like a little locker room that was abandoned type shit. So nobody would ever be up there. So we went up there one time.
So weird for a school to have it like an abandoned floor, like it's Hogwarts or some shit.
Yo,
like Harry Potter, found a spot, bro.
Yeah, right.
Practice the magic. The dark arts.
On the dark arts of the cannabis.
What are you guys doing up there? Dark arts.
The weeds. Yo, listen, Jamaica was so massive. They had so many like in the cut spots. They had like a basement that had been off limit for years. That there was like a shooting range in there.
What?
Yeah, Jamaica had a full swimming pool.
A shooting range?
There was a shooting range in the school. There was a swimming pool. There was fencing.
And then the shooting range, I'm guessing, wasn't being used, right?
No.
But these kids was bringing guns when we was in high school. They was bringing guns to school.
Yeah, they had a rifle club. That's what they had.
Oh, the Francis Lewis had some shit like that, where they had the...
That's the ROTC, I think.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. This is different.
They would march and... They would flip
that's like the baby army program or something like that.
I seen Francis Lewis had a big one with that. So when did you get out of Jamaica?
So I graduated in 2009.
Okay.
So summer 2009, I graduated Jamaica High, and that summer we just spent racing.
So I wonder when they closed it down, because I went to high school maybe 2012 or
not too far after
11 and shit like that, somewhere around there. And everybody, I didn't know exactly where Jamaica High School was, but they said it had closed down. That's why we had a flux of kids from Jamaica. Like everybody there was from like Cambria Heights. Everybody was from like Hillside and all of that type. Hollis. Everybody was from right there. So I don't know. Maybe. But there was a lot of rowdy kids in that school, man.
Yeah, to me, Jamaica was sort of like that, like in terms of you had to low-key became a little gladiator type shit, like I wouldn't say it was like Rikers or anything like that, but
everybody went to Rikers after. It was like pre-Rikers.
It's pre-Rikers. The high school was pre-Rikers because it was like the first day there, somebody got caught with a gun there. My first day in high school, I remember so vividly. The first day.
You don't even know anybody yet.
I don't even know nobody yet. I don't even know nobody yet. They kept everybody in the school, in the classroom. The alarm bells went off. Coming to find out, some kid got caught with the gun. He tried to bring it through the metal detector.
Nobody got shot. You already had metal detectors on the regular in the school.
Yeah.
But these kids don't understand now. Yeah. I don't even know if they do that anymore.
Yeah, bro. There was long lines. Imagine being long lines in the winter. Well,
hiding your phone.
Hiding your phone in the deli. Like, paying them to hold it for
in
you.
In the Lucy spot. Yo, hold this down. Don't give it to nobody. And then sometimes kids would still get caught with a knife. As you said, the kid got caught at the metal detector with a gun.
Yeah.
What's up with him, bro? Yeah. What's wrong with this kid? Does he not know there was metal detectors there?
The thing is, he's probably got it in before. Through
the metal. Yo, that's saying something a lot about Jamaica High School. If it's possible for him to get a gun through the metal detectors at least once.
Yeah, it was.
They have
a crazy
one
time.
job is to detect the metal.
They had faulty equipment, bro. So
they be faking their shit. Yeah. They're like, it was cheaper.
But you gotta know, like, there's the guards there too. The guards was on some shit too. You know what I'm saying?
The guards was on some fuckery in my school, bro.
Yeah, the guards was on some shit. They was
fucking around with the girls in the school, fighting the guys and shit. But mostly fucking around with the girls is probably the most like nastiest pedo shit I've ever seen in high school. Like,
yeah, it was crazy.
It was insane. They're probably still doing that, but like before, it was like on a different level, bro. It was so common for you to be in middle school, and some shorty would be like probably like 13 or something, when she going out with like a 25-year-old. Like, yo, what the fuck is going on nowadays? Shit was just different. These kids nowadays, they don't know. Like, you really had to learn how to like fight and dress well and shit. Like, if you had some Payless on, they was gonna cut your ass.
You had to learn how to deal with getting your ass cut, learn how to cut some ass back, learn how to fight, learn how to
cry.
Yeah, you had to learn how to be, and I love that. I wouldn't take that back for nothing.
It builds character.
It does.
Really, and then
it does.
And hopefully you end up gaining respect from everybody in a cool way where you're just chill. Everybody's just chill. Nobody's picking on you.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a good point that you bring up, because I feel like that's kind of how high school went for me. Like, by the time I was 16, 17, I didn't really have no more issues. Everyone we done fought already. I spanked them. I solved all my issues.
Slap boxing. I don't even know if they do that anymore.
I never, with the slap box, I only did that with like my cousin. That's not something I would play around. I've seen slap boxing get so crazy and become way more of an issue than it needed to be. It's crazy because you niggas thought you want to slap with each other.
It's one of those times where guys turn into girls, where they say girls can't play fight, they take it too serious. Well, slap fight a dude and see what they get emotional, bro.
Right, you get a good slap on him, it's gonna be some issues.
Because you know what it is, you laugh when you slap him, and it puts that that salt
on
the wound.
Yeah, that's slow.
And in high school, I would hate kids that had a certain laugh, like a kid that went
Yo, this certain
so
kids,
annoying.
But they doing that because they the amp in the situation. You know, they being an idiot. Gassing it.
Yo, you gonna let him say that to you?
Yo. That would always be it. You gonna let him say that? He said, well, yo, this nigga was talking about you.
And then in middle school, gum was like gold. You could throw gum on the floor when I was going to middle school, and you would see 3 kids die for that gum. Number 5 was like the za. Like before we was on weed, we was trying to look at gums and shit.
I remember anything that you had that like was something you could get outside the school was something. You know, like, oh, you got this bag of chips, you got this, you got that. Like, if you got something from the snack store, you lit. You know.
It took me a minute to understand how everybody like would dress. Like, I didn't understand why they made fun of my Payless shoes or like my like off-brand like denim jeans and shit. Like, I didn't get it, and that shit will pressure me to buy like Polo and Ralph Lauren, and I was like, $100 for pants. What the fuck is this shit? This shit don't make no sense.
Yo, dude, the thing is, the kids, and they got to say something bad about something.
They got to say something bad. And then you also find out that a lot of the Polo and Ralph that kids was wearing was, one, either bought by their parents, which they begged them, or they stole it.
They stole it, or it was fake.
Yeah, or like it was fake. It didn't matter.
Nah,
it didn't matter, but I used to believe, like, nah, you got to go and buy this expensive shit to get around in school. You're not gonna survive.
Because it's the environment. It's the environment. You get influenced by the environment. You know what I'm saying? So now if you're around kids that are like, oh, you gotta buy this, now you thinking that's what you gotta roll with. You know? And I would see on the Ave, there would be people who had the fake True Religions, fake antique jeans when antique was popping. You know, Lacoste, all of them.
People was looking a lot for what they have. I guess, I don't know. I wasn't really open to super designer stores, but when True Religion was going on, my boy would put me on like, yo, this the plug for True Religion, bro. It's like 5 T-shirts in the store, and you're like, they have the low prices on True Religion jeans and shit. But now, like, everything, if you really wait it out, becomes regular. Like, even nobody cares about True Religion anymore. They treat it like Levi's and shit.
True. I mean, as long as you could put a clean appearance together, you're valid. You know,
was you fucking with FUBU?
I was.
Was you doing the one sleeve up on the leg?
I wouldn't say
that's some old ass shit.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but I had the jerseys. I had a bunch of the FUBU 05 jerseys.
Nice,
you know, shoot, I fucking forgot what I was gonna say.
But like, so fuck it. On some next shit, oh yeah, I was gonna ask you. You edit your own videos, or how do you do it?
Before we get into that, you mind if I just shout out all of these?
Do your thing, dude.
So let me shout out all these brands, because you know I did come from PIFCon, and I should have mentioned this earlier. So when I was at PIFCon, I had some great brands and some great things passed to me. So I want to definitely give a big shout out to Ed Farms with the Pif Coast peanut butter. I mean, this thing smells like Reese's and freaking peanut butter wafer. Smell that, bro.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nah.
Come on, man.
Nah, you gotta explain this to me. How does this even work?
Yeah, man. He's got something special with that. He's got something really special with that.
Nah, this is crazy.
Crazy. So we could definitely smoke on a little bit of that.
I'm not even, bro, it's not even for the camera, not for you are. Like, that's definitely some shit.
This is it.
That's 100% memorable, though.
Yeah.
Checking off on the memorable off the rip.
You see what I'm saying? Because one of the categories just stand out above everything else. That's how that works.
The smells like lingering around my nose still in a good way. Like,
yeah, it stayed as the bag closed. The terps is still on your nose. That's crazy. Crazy. And then we got the Super Silver Haze. Shout out Ed Farms again with this. Then we got the oatmeal raisin cookie from my guy Shag Snacks, and this is for you, my guy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Try that.
Shout out to Shag Snacks.
Shout out to Shag Snacks. You know, shout out to Agua. Definitely this pomegranate punch. Listen, I don't know if y'all palate ready for this one. So look out for that. My guy Mechanic Farm 996. Then we got the OG. We got another OG here, man. White Boy Kev. Okay, his Cuban Black Haze. You know, and this I'm really looking forward to that. So some of that's coming, you know, for you too. Then we got the So Dope Harlem 21. They actually won one of the Pif Coast Awards today. Yep, smell that one.
It's not. You cracked it already?
Go crack that, bro.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Right, crack that thing. Ooh, stanky.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yes,
sir. You picked some nice flavors, bro. You got an eye for this shit.
Well, I did pick this one actually. So this one I did pay for the Harlem 21.
Ooh, different. Ooh, that's some nice flavors, bro.
Yes, sir.
Sick ass flavors.
Then so shout out Al's. So Al's is a unique brand that I came across today. Infused pretzel nuggets. Okay, and this is the guy on here who creates it. He's got his image there, and he's got like this Matrix theme. And I thought this was so dope because he's got you could choose the red pill or the blue pill. And on the back, on the back of the pack, shit's mad slippery, like, the fuck?
This one's trying to get in there. He got him nervous. He's like, yo, let me get in there.
For real, So, all right, boom. So now you got the red or the blue pill, and you check that out. So it's the dosage, The red or the blue pill is the dosage. You know what I'm saying?
This is fire. Good packaging.
Good nice concept.
Feel to it. Yeah, fire concept. Infused pretzel nuggets.
Open that up.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we gotta eat some pretzel.
Ooh. I ain't gonna crack it. Yeah, I'm gonna let you crack it. These are nice. These are good packaging too. They sealed it in a vacuum seal and shit. Yeah. Super fire. Nice little piece of pretzels, bro.
For sure.
These are sick. This is sick. You really tapped into this shit. You in there, bro. Wow. Just off of the flavors you showed me, especially that peanut butter, that one really stuck out like crazy. I'm like, yo, how do they get that fucking smell?
Yeah. He's got something out of super. I don't even know how that grower must have smelled.
Gotta have clones of that shit.
Yeah.
Got to keep it.
Then we got some Trop Cherry from OG Grows. This is a New York grower who's killing it. New
York grower, shout outs to him.
Yup, nice. Big New York grower. And he's got a sherbet cake here.
Sick.
Shout out OG. This is the first thing. Your favorite grower's favorite grower. You see that on the inside label? Your favorite grower.
Favorite grower.
I love that.
That's fire.
Come on now.
Trop cherries. Bro, this is so dope. I like that people are in the game. Like New York isn't trying to still be with the Ziploc bags and shit,
Nah, we got some people doing it different out here. Really different.
Yeah. Can I crack it?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Different. Come on.
Oof. Bro. Ooh. This one has a nice clean taste to it. Smells nice. These are sick. And I bet there was probably so many more other things you wanted to grab, right?
Dude, there was like this Panama Haze there from Branson. Shout out those dudes. They were out there. There was a lot of dope growers in the house, and I don't want to do anybody a disservice by not shouting them out. So I'm gonna kind of stop while But I'm just saying right now, big shout out to everyone who's in the building. If you're in the building, you're doing something right. So just you guys big yourselves up on that.
Yeah, that's fire, bro. I'm so glad. Thank you for this. I appreciate it.
For sure. And I'm definitely going to break some of these down and,
Yeah, appreciate that. So let's get into this one. I got a question. Like, so what are the top 10 brands you would say, like, you've tried so far, like, that, like, stand out to you?
Okay. Can I give you 5?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know if you, you could do 5, 10, whatever, 3, whatever.
Bad, because, I don't want to go into naming too many. There's a lot more than 10 that are doing their thing right now. So I'm going to just kind of...
And there's probably people you forget. Like
in
the moment, the time, it flies by the head. Because you might remember later and be like, oh, I should have said...
I know that's going to happen to me. So I want to apologize in advance to anyone if I should... I'll comment under this video if I left you out or whatever. But, I'm going to go off of what's the front of the mind that I could think of. So Gas Pack Gardens, they had a headbanger. Shout out Jeremy Jordan. That one was Fuego. Had a original I had a Orange Z from Terp Hogs. Via the brother Double R Exotics. Shout out Double R Exotics. He got me that Terp Hogs original. Orange Z, and the terps on that was crazy. OG Grows is definitely one of the brands killing it. Then we got Mechanic Farms, another dude killing it. You know, and how many did I do?
I think you did 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of the brands, like just their operation, I think this gives them the potential to be up there. And I'm going to say the Godmother's Garden.
Okay.
You know, so she's at the front of the mind. But there's a lot of people doing their damn thing, dude. 22 is a lot. And New York's going to hear about them. They're going to hear about them soon, you know. As I come across them, you know, I'm going to be speaking on them.
So, okay. So now I'm going to get a little more, how I say, a little more direct questions, right? So, all right.
The editing, I think you wanted to.
Nah, well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, let's get into that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, good memory and shit. So, I seen your videos. They're really well edited. I was thinking you had somebody that does it or you pay somebody to do it, but you said you do it yourself?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm doing my own. It's in-house.
How many hours does it take you?
It do be taking some hours. It do be a little bit tedious because it gets meticulous. And I appreciate you saying that they're good editing. I feel like I'm an amateur. I don't even know what I'm doing, you know? So
it's just about, like, when you hear your own voice, bro, you hate it. You think it sounds cringe, but to other people, they're like, nah, bro, it's just you. It's regular. I like it. It's genuine.
Yeah, well, there's that. And, you know, that kind of, you touched on it, too. Does sometimes it feel like it get repetitive? And, you know, hearing my own voice does get repetitive. That's what bothers me more so than hearing my own voice. I'm kind of overhearing my own voice.
You're just hearing the same thing again.
Yeah, it's hearing the same thing again, you know.
Yeah, so mad at yourself.
Right, so that's why I always try to reinvent myself, switch it up, say something a little more bolder, say something a little more out, you know, out there to kind of bring new life and new spirit and energy to the review. And that's what I think I'm getting good at. You know what I mean? On delivering on that. In terms of the editing, it's the clips, the cutting, that's really what be doing it. It's not even
because in this world we live in now, you can't just make a video and make a post about it. Now that has to get taken into a short. That has to get taken into a clip.
This has to be captions.
It has to be a reel. It has to have captions. Zoom ins.
Right.
Zoom ins it do so much work. Like it does more. It does more for you. Like
and the engagement's better on those style
and
videos.
the right time to zoom in and then I fucked up. I had to go back, tweak it. That's like starts agging on you in your head. It just, bro, I was fried yesterday trying to edit a 1-minute video for 2 hours.
Dang,
just fried because I always feel like I could do better. That's one of my problems. Yeah, I always feel like if I was like, oh, maybe I could tweak this, maybe I could tweak that. Next thing you know, 3 hours have gone by, and it's like, bro, you gotta stop. It's only up 60 seconds, bro. Like, yeah,
you got to learn to kind of just accept it for what it is, and like you said, you can't get too much into it, otherwise you get out of it, man.
So my questions I have also, other questions I have is, what do you think makes you a good reviewer or something? Like, what's your, in your opinion, what's your catalog, resume? What makes you a good reviewer?
Copy. So what I think sets me out apart is I'm always going to be 100% authentic with my review. My reviews are always authentic. They may not be the most accurate. Maybe I didn't call out all the right terps because when you're tasting and the palate, you know, I feel like I don't have that maybe professional training to really identify certain flavors. You know, my palate's growing and I'm learning. I may say something tasted like this. Later on, it tastes like something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may be off in the taste. So I'm not always maybe the most accurate, but I will always be the most genuine. I'm always going to speak honestly about what I'm smoking and my experience on what I smoked. You can count on that. Now, whether, like I said, you know, going back to somebody gave me some, you know, if you give me something and, you know, I think it's bad, I'll give you the courtesy of letting you know before just blindly posting, unless that was the sort of agreement and arrangement that we agreed to. Like, yo, okay, so you just want me to post it? Like, yeah, just post it.
Yeah, bro, just blast it. Like, I don't really care. I'll come back, but you know what it is? I think bad reviews is a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should be looked down upon.
No.
And I don't think people should think about, oh, yo, bro, I mean, maybe there be some shit that you can give somebody a heads up, like, yo, bro, I don't know if this was a good one. I mean, I did it, but I don't know, I might let you, I don't know if I want to post it or not. But then also, you got to be able to put something out there so the person can come back and make a comeback.
100%.
People will read a bad review and still click on your page and check out your shit still.
People will still buy the damn thing that was a bad review.
People that hate you will buy the shit that you put a bad review on. Like, yes. Oh, he hated it?
Yes.
Let me try. This guy don't know nothing.
100%.
And they'll try. So it doesn't matter.
And I try to tell brands that, listen, man, it's attention, it's engagement, it's, your brand's getting, spoken on, which is better than it not getting spoken on at all, But for some people, they see it as something that will be something they won't be able to come back from. And that's like...
That's a scary situation. Why can't you come back from it? What, you don't know good weed, bro? Like, if I said your shit is bad, you should be almost like, oh, I can't wait to hit him again with the good one. They should get you with the bad one just so you hit him with a good one.
True. And a lot of... And
set you up. Like,
word. There's that. And then... not only that, but I feel like... Shoot, hold on. I lost my train of thought with the weed. Oh, so it is just, it's the opinion of one person. So and I'm never just gonna say something's bad just to say it's bad. I'm gonna say it's bad because of da 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 da, and then you can counter on that and we can have a conversation. But people get so touchy feely, they just get offended and then they become irrational. Instead of like,
especially online.
Yeah, instead of letting it initiate a civilized conversation, like, oh, okay, so you didn't like about, oh man, that's it. I mean, what was it that you didn't, or what about that taste? What about like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't even think they gotta ask you though. You should do such a great job at describing what your experience was. I don't think there's any questions, and I don't think anybody should have a problem with it. I don't know if you've dealt with let's say pushback from your reviews by people you've done reviews on or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. But most of the time, people are, I would say they I don't know what the reason is, but they don't push back.
Oh, they don't. They're cool.
I wouldn't say they're cool, but they just they won't
make a scene,
or they won't like have that discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always down to have that discussion, but like you said, I also do like, if I don't like something, I'm gonna detail it in my review exactly why I didn't like it or why I rated certain things.
Now, can you tell the difference between cured weed and not cured weed?
It's a little tougher for me to tell the difference because, I haven't seen that much uncured weed, but I could tell you something that's not burning right. You know what I'm saying? And usually if it's not burning right, it wasn't cured properly. So visually, it's not something that would just stand out to me. I don't come across too much uncured weed.
Smoking-wise,
smoking-wise, if it's harsh, usually the cure is not right, or it's too fresh, It needs to sit a little longer because it's got a little, maybe too much moisture in it, it's a little too resiny, whatever the case may be.
It could be those things because you could give somebody a bag of weed and be like, yo, try this out. You could smoke it and be like, nah, wasn't it? Hit back 2 hours later. That shit could be way better.
100%. It just needs to sit in the jar a little bit.
Yeah. That's why I asked you the question earlier, how much do you really smoke? Like, it'd be like, bro, I don't know if you're really doing it right if you're smoking 1J and calling it on that.
Nah.
Try different papers?
So, no. And let me, and it's, well, hold on. I do try different papers. Is it a part of my process? No. Like, if I'm smoking a weed, I try to stick with that paper because I want to judge the weed for the weed itself, so I want there to be less variables.
And your way, the way you smoke on a regular, you wanted to test it out like that.
Yeah,
your way, like whatever papers you smoke, whatever roll-up you use.
Well, so for instance, if I smoked the first one, if I smoked the weed and it was in vibes, I kind of like to keep it that way and smoke it 3 different times to see I had this 3 different times the exact same way in almost similar settings, and I like to, usually smoke in my living room, and, I'll pace and just think, and I like to take some time out, like, so that's another thing with the reviews. I like to set it like a 2-3 hour window and just that.
And really sit with it.
Yeah, I like to
know the weed, like get in there, like
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So and I would like to replicate that several different times. So this way there's more controlled variables. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know where the setting was. I know where my mind was. I know how it was. I know what the papers was. Like, I rolled it the same way. So this way, there's less room for why it's smoking differently.
Yeah.
You know? Now, if I smoked it 3 times in an almost identical smoke experience, for you to tell me that it's different, or, oh, what do you mean it's smoking harsh? I mean, I've smoked it 4 times in the same way, same papers. It's harsh. You know what I'm saying? Versus you smoked it in the vibes, you smoked it in this, you smoked it in that. How do you know it was harsh? How do you know all of the times, like, there might have been something that changed, you know?
Now, when you're smoking, how are you smoking? Clean, spliff, blunts?
So I'm not big on glass, you know, in terms of the bowls and stuff, but I do like those methods better than a backwood on a regular basis. I feel like there's a time and place for blunts and Dutches, like, and that's usually a highway site for me.
Okay.
You know.
And you using filters or no filters?
I use filters in papers and joints. So I use a filter. Sometimes I won't use a filter. Sometimes I won't use a filter.
Do you feel a difference?
It's more of a, how do I say?
I get more flavor from without filter. That'd just be my thing. But hand crushed weed, I get more flavor out of the weed. The burn might not be the perfect burn, but the flavor for me is a little more pungent per se. What about you?
You know, for me, I don't like to hand crush the weed. I do want it to burn good, because my idea is to create a good smoke experience. You know, if it's not burning right, then usually with those pockets, with the burning different, it's going to cause you to...
Of course, and plus this is like pretty much your job to do a review, and you want to make sure it's done correctly and it burns proper. You know, me, I'm just smoking it for the... And I don't do it all the time, because even hand crushing, it's just from being at the park, you know, crushing on dollar bills. It just comes from that shit.
It's a force of habit.
Yeah.
Now, my thing with that is just, it's with it, and it kind of goes into the no filter thing. When I don't smoke with a filter, my hands stink more of it. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
It's all over.
Resin comes through. Yeah, definitely. If you're smoking with other people, I don't suggest without filter. I suggest with filter with other people. Definitely in a group setting and shit, because somebody could hit that shit wrong. Just that's the whole thing about backwoods was. Like, somebody hit the backwood wrong, and then it makes the flow of the smoke uneven, and then it canoes and everything, and it's just all like a whole big thing.
That's a fact. And then that's another thing with Dutches, with blunts too. It's usually such an unsanitary situation, you know, if you think about it. Like, it's different even with a joint, like, because you get in someone who's licking the joint, but at least it's like a little lick, right? Pause.
Back in the day, that shit was crazy. Motherfuckers was,
yo, what are you doing?
Like, yo, I remember the first time I didn't even smoke weed. These kids from Cambria Heights, we went into like a little corner alley, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna roll a blunt. I didn't even smoke. I was like, I'll look out for you. You smoke. He pulled it out of his pocket, started doing this and that with it. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, my guy? The glizzy.
Right, yo, bro.
It's crazy. And then you give it to your homie. Yo, sit there. He's like, steam it.
It is like, bro, how many mouths has this blunt passed through? Like, you got the man who steamed it. You got the man who's
and then another dude that's going to be like, yo, let me roll it. I bought all the weed. Let me roll it.
Yo, it's crazy. It was crazy. So that's another thing, too, with that, with the blunts.
It definitely does that.
And then I also feel like, so I smoke in papers, sometimes with filter, sometimes without, and that's it. And I think the tobacco doesn't do it any favors. That's me personally. I think if you're smoking with tobacco, you are getting something else in that flavor that's not it. You know what I'm saying? It just couldn't be, you know. Yeah. But, that's just my opinion. Some people think a certain sauce or on a steak makes the flavor more profound or enhanced or some shit like that. I don't know. I disagree.
I'm a pretty regular all the time grabba smoker. So I'll admit that it really starts from the fact that you probably usually always had like some lows or mids or some whack weed, and then you put grabba in it, and that tobacco hit just punches you, like, it be busting, and it's like, you're high off the tobacco, and you just get stuck to it after a while. You just get addicted, to be honest. Like
I get that.
You just gotta be honest. Yeah, you just gotta be honest. Cause plus, like somebody like me, like I used to smoke a lot of pack of Newports, so I stopped smoking Newports and just added grabba in my shit. And I want to eventually cut that part out too, and just start going more on the cleaner side, because when you get sick, you can't smoke spliffs. I can't smoke spliffs. Like, it tastes disgusting, but I can smoke, like, normal weed and it doesn't have a problem. So I definitely know, because there's been times where I smoke too much tobacco, like, too much grabba, too many joints and shit like that. And then, bro, I'll come home, my head is spinning.
See?
I want to throw up. And then all you notice is because of the tobacco. The weed never does that. So it kind of, it has its things. And then tobacco will lead you down a bad road of, like, yo, your grabba spot don't got the same grabba no more. And now you got to look for a new grabba spot. Yeah. Now you look like a crackhead running around.
And checking leaves.
Yeah.
Let me see the leaves.
Yo, let me see the... Nah, bro, those... Nah.
No, this one don't. Yo, why y'all look
it's like the weed game. Yeah. It's like the weed game, so you're having double the headache.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. I mean, you know, some people really like the leaves, and I get that the leaves has some type of connection to our our historical cultural roots, you know what I mean? In terms of
even with just they're both plants to be smoked at the end of the day. They're both smoking plants, and I mean, it's just what it is that, like, nowadays, just with the tobacco, you just don't know how it's coming. Just like with the weed before, man. You know, people say, like, oh, grabba, Fanto, the leaf, it's cool, it's natural, bro. I mean, they could spray that. They could put stuff on that. It doesn't...
100%. You know, they got them flavors.
They probably do. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't benefit them to not.
Right. So here's the... So boom. So now if you smoking one of these, I don't know, Russian creams, banana, whatever the fuck, cherry I don't know whatever the fuck flavor they got, right? Because I'm not a big on backwards. But if you're smoking one of these flavored backwards now, it's like... How are you judging that weed? Oh, or not judging the weed, but how are you tasting that weed for real?
To take it off of that, let me ask you a question. Have you had sprayed weed yet?
I believe I've probably had sprayed.
I'm not going to tell you to just call out anybody or whatever unless you want to, but do you feel like it's okay to have that in there?
I think you should just disclose it, right? Some people don't give a fuck, you know, to be honest. There's a lot of people who don't give a fuck. In fact, they love it. They love it, and they don't know it. And that's okay. We get into a society where we try to make people feel bad because they not on what we on. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a... Because they still going to do what they going to do.
People going to do what they going to do. And some people want those flavors. You making them feel bad from one of those flavors. They want their weed to taste like pina colada. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck, whatever it is.
But where it goes wrong... Just to counteract that is the growers. Like, where they're like, wow, bro, these guys are just spraying they shit and they selling it for this and they taking the money away and the market share and we're trying to compete. But how you going to compete with some shit that's literally sprayed terps?
You got to create your own lane for it. Instead of the competition's going to be there. No one is removing competition out the equation. That will always be there. You got to figure out your way around that. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, they got sprayed terps. Now you as a grower, what's going to be your biggest proponent? The fact that the appeal is there, the fact that the taste is genuine to the genetics. Like, what? Go ahead and market yourself the way you need to compete. You know what I mean? Don't be mad at the competition. If that's forcing you to get better.
If you're mad at it, just put not sprayed.
Yeah, not non-sprayed weed.
Yeah,
non-sprayed.
That would make you stand out.
That would make you boom.
It'll make everybody question the other weed that doesn't say.
You understand what I'm saying? Problem solved.
There you go.
But you got to be solution minded. 22.
Yeah.
If you're not solution minded, you got to have a winner's mentality.
You got to take responsibility and not be like, nah, bro, fuck his fake shit. Like, nah, bro, you compete.
Yo, listen. If that's how they doing things on that side, you don't like that. Be different.
Don't participate.
Don't participate. Go stand out.
Yeah. Don't be that guy that sprays your own weed now, trying to compete with that guy because you're both going down a lower end. Like,
but there's people there for that. There's people at that lower. I've met people and they were smoking some of this spray weed. And I was telling him, listen, man, you know those terps, those are not natural terps. Like, bro, I could just show you where to go. You could get them spray bottles, some spray terpene bottles. Go get yourself some blocky runs.
Yeah.
And go spray your shit on there. And go make it whatever the fuck it is. And that's a bag. That's what these niggas was doing. So it's like, some people don't care. And so dude didn't even want to go that route. Like, he was like, nah, I'm cool. Like, I like this. This is pressure to me.
I see.
And out here, I'm going to be this what this bully, oh, that's not pressure, that's fucking sprayed weed. Like, he knows it's sprayed weed. He want to smoke sprayed weed. Smoke your sprayed weed.
Yeah, bro. There's people doing that with all kinds of shit. They smoking, drinking, re-rock stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of big in this community is a lot of re-rocking.
Yeah.
They want to re-rock stuff, change the name of strains. People spin around lemon cherry gelato into other words and this and that. And so much of it is illusion of, like, a lot of work is from last year, too. Like, a lot of work in these streets.
Old works, then past mad hands. You know, but, so this was my bad
No.
So what I was going to say in regards to that, so with the sprayed terps, my thing is we don't know the health consequences, right? So everybody talking about, oh, this is what you're putting in your lungs. If you're smoking tobacco, look at what you're putting in your lungs, right? Yeah. So the lungs question is out of it. First of all, if you care about your lungs, you won't be smoking. Right?
At all.
You'll take in some other form of THC consumption.
Edible, something.
Right. Yeah. So the premise that, oh, they're putting something bad in your lungs when you're already a smoker, it's like you don't really have a leg to stand on. So what is the real issue with sprayed terps? It's these people are making their stuff more flavorful because they know that
last year's work,
they're getting it off. And to be honest, there's people who just don't care, and that's who they're selling to.
I believe that because I used to be that guy that bought units of China Pack for myself. A unit just to smoke for like 4 months, like a QP. Just because I was like, bro, the budget fits.
It makes sense.
I need to smoke 24/7, like all the time, because of graphic design work. I just gotta sit home and smoke. I can't be smoking Zao the fucking time and be passed out at my table.
That's what I be talking. I'm a habitual.
And a good China Pack at least. Like, I know I get China Pack. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really have good weed back then. But at that mind state, there's other people there too.
You see?
And there's lower levels of that too, where you're just copping weed from the smoke shop or the deli. And motherfuckers is getting so tight because some of the smoke shops have decent weed, but they put it in fake papers, which makes it burn horrible. This is the market we live in. They don't smoke weed, but they sell weed, but they put it in fake papers, which makes it burn black.
Yeah.
On to that. What's your opinion on this black and white ash thing?
So black ash is not good. That's that. Black, if you get smoking something and it's black ash,
and it's going out.
It's going out. You see, maybe the way you rolled it, then the other thing is the weed. You know, it's that bad of weed. You know, so which there'll be indications of that as soon as you start looking at. Usually, when I run into black ash, it's usually like super like moist, like maybe it's not
too wet.
Right, it hasn't cured properly, right, or it's just super dry. Like, it's just like, it looks like some old weed type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, too dry. And then there was this whole thing people would talk about, you have to flush your plants. And that one was mainly coming out from people using salts. And to bounce off of that, my other question was for you that, can you tell the difference between salt weed and non-salt weed?
Nah.
Okay.
No, I ain't gonna sit here and I cannot.
Yeah.
I cannot.
There's certain questions I wanted to get to with people reviews. So because I know other people have these type of questions too.
Yeah.
And if you just honest with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because you're just giving your opinion on matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in my experience, what I've noticed is the saltier weed is the more PGR type of stuff. The super dense. Super hard nugs and shit. Remember back in the day, you would get some shit that would be like rocks?
I've definitely, not even back in the day, still I see some people that got like some really hard sort of PGR weed.
It's mostly all gelatos and shit.
It's that. It's like, I've seen a lot of, sunset sherb type shit.
Yeah.
That's like be hard as fuck. You know what I
So
mean?
those are like salts. So if you end up coming across, it's just in my opinion, right? So if you come across those nugs that kind of look almost like not even like nugs anymore, just like clusters. They almost look like moon rocks a little bit and shit, but just like a weed moon rock type shit.
I've seen those.
Super cluster, yeah, super roundish. And then they use like salts, which were like stuff like they have at the grocery store, Ching Ching or something, like Ching-a-ling-a-ling. Like there's these like, they're by the same people I think that make ocean forest soil. So they also make like salts containers, I think, and then they have these Asian style like covers, like the covers. That's why it says ching-a-ling-a-ling or something.
Got you.
And they have large levels of nutrients. So basically, what you would feed your flower plants for like 2 months, this little pinch of a little tablespoon will feed it for like ever. And you have to flush those. That's where the whole flushing, in my head, what I've been researching is coming from. It was the information coming from to the people that are using salts, and that you put so much nutrients that are synthetic into your soil, so you have to flush that shit out, or else the ash is still gonna come out black because it's too much. Now, and they're synthetics too. Now, that got confusing with a lot of people in the grow community, where people were confusing flushing with everything. Even if you was tapering off your feeding, or even if you was using organics, people would still flush for 2 weeks there. So the flush goes like this. Like, let's say if you got a pot plant that's in a 5-gallon soil bag, you would need to flush it with like probably like 15 gallons, 20 gallons of water for, they say, what, 2 weeks. Every 3 days you gotta
to process all
and that's like 15 gallons for one plant. Now imagine you got 10 plants.
Right.
That's 150 gallons of water where you gotta run through for 2 weeks through the plant. And most people didn't need to, and what they ended up doing was making their shit. People were like, yo, my shit is flushed 10 times, 40 times, and then you smoke it and it still comes out black because they flushed the nutrients out of it.
Jeez.
That's how all of this misinformation goes around too in the weed community on purpose. So they sabotage people's grows and stuff, mislead them with information and shit like that, and that's where the whole salt shit and everything was coming from. But nowadays, I've seen a lot of people going towards organics. They're using like living soil. Right. People are trying to like make a difference.
What's your thought on that? Like, and for yourself, do you feel like you really pick up a big difference on the
salty?
Salt?
Yeah. Salty is usually always gonna burn, funny. Like, it's gonna have a nice dank smell, but it's not gonna look like normal weed. Like, it's gonna look very
the PGR.
Yeah,
weed.
like the PGR.
No, but in terms of like the taste specifically.
It's not. It's a high that lasts 15 minutes and you want to smoke it over and over again. Like, not like addictively, but you want to smoke it like, I want to get high. Why am I not getting high? I want to smoke this. It seems good first 2-3 pulls, and then it just kind of fucking goes away and shit. And that's how they were using to get, big yields, like China packs and stuff coming from Canada. And they would just feed little pinches of this shit, like. And like, if you take a container of it and just dump it into a forest, like in one spot, that area would just die. Everything around, it would be overload everything. It would just kill off shit. And
that tells you how serious that is.
Yes, and then that's why people are moving away, because when you use organics, it's a little more expensive because you have to use a lot more of it, but you don't have to flush, and your plant is only going to take as much as it needs, so you don't have to worry about burning it, overfeeding, and stuff like that. It's a good direction I feel growers are going in. Okay. So let's see if I got anything you wanted to get across.
What kind of got you into doing this, man?
You guys, that's what really got me into doing this. Seeing you, and let me see what you're smoking. Yeah, we're doing. Did you guys have a name for that? Which put me on to the
Get Your Mind Right.
Get Your Mind Right.
The podcast. Yep. So,
and then so I saw that, and then I'm like, damn. So they're doing it. I assumed you was from Brooklyn because of him, and I was like, damn, they're doing their stuff. And when at that time I thought was Brooklyn, I'm just like, oh, they're doing their thing, and then it's Brooklyn. And then I saw Fax doing his thing, and he's from the Bronx.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, all these people they're like, I see them around. I see you, him, y'all cool people, y'all genuine, and I was just like, bro, this is gonna hit for them. Like, I know this, and I felt like, I was like, yo, I wanna get in on this. Like, I feel like these guys are motivating me, and I feel like if I sit back and not make a move on this, I'm gonna be watching y'all videos and low key hating, like, I should have done my thing.
Yeah.
And which is, you shouldn't think like that. You should always do what you want to fucking do. Don't hold back and sit back.
Well, listen, you didn't let that play it to you in that way. You could have went that route, but it didn't. You took action and you executed on your dream and your desire, man.
Because you guys are a big motivator, bro. You post all the time. He posts all the time. Facts be posting all the time. Like, oh, y'all be in the stream. Y'all be connected with everybody. And I go, man, I want to be able to do that. Like, I want to be able to be myself and represent what I can. That's why I did this thing with Queens, because I felt like in my head, how I was looking at it was like, yo, y'all got Brooklyn, he got the Bronx. Nobody's really in Queens that, as far as I looked up, for the cannabis community type of area.
You know, and you're right. I know exactly what you're talking about, because being that I live in Washington Heights now, you know, I could say it's low key like sort of the mecca when it comes to this weed shit in New York City. You know?
Queens?
No. Washington Heights.
Okay.
I would say Washington Heights is sort of like ground zero for like the weed cannabis movement type shit. In terms of what I've seen, you know, maybe you could. I don't know if anybody sees it another way, but from what I've seen, it's like Washington Heights is like where a lot of stuff started. There's a lot of history there. There's a lot of proponents to getting weed and stories that I've heard from people getting weed uptown. And when I was doing my thing, I really didn't hear anybody from Queens making noise, you know? So I'm really happy you got this going.
Thank you, Brody. Yeah, I've always heard stories of Harlem and everybody getting the Harlem Haze, and yo, you gotta go there and just buy dimes, bro. No, it's just like 4 or 5 dimes. Everybody's buying that. My homie still go there and grab some here and there and shit. So yeah, definitely think that place, and also it's so close to the Bronx. Like, I feel like they had a good connection, and
close to Harlem.
Yeah, and the whole like thing that made New York famous with Sour and Haze, like it's all associated with Harlem a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of big history over there. So what do you think is gonna be coming up next for you? Like, what are you planning on for the rest of this year? Like, what are you thinking that the head direction?
So right now, we're just kind of capturing what's going on in terms of cannabis legalization. So I'm going to be focusing more on capturing that, kind of highlighting those who are doing things the right way, to inspire more to do that, you know, because I got a lot of love for my legacy growers and those dudes who's out there doing their thing in the streets, but that's not where it's at. You know, it's not where it's at. Not if you want to make a future of this, you know. Maybe if you got, you know, exit strategy, all right, cool. But if you want to do the weed thing, your exit strategy need to be going legal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we're going to be highlighting that a lot more. And also capturing some of the stories and giving voices to those in the communities that are making an impact but haven't necessarily been allowed. Their voices haven't been projected. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on, as well as doing the reviews and highlighting the great, talented growers that we have right here. You know, I'm doubling down on highlighting New York. You know, if you're in New York, you're doing your thing, get with me. I'm going to fuck with you, fuck with me. Come on now. Let's make it happen. Because we run everything. We're going to run this too. You feel me? So it's inevitable.
New York has definitely been the biggest place for, how do I say, not marketing, but commerce. Mm-hmm. It's always big. It's been big in commerce in New York. Everybody, like, once New York legalization came, everybody rushed to New York. Like, they were never going to rush to Jersey, who legalized first. And Jersey, still, I don't think gets any love from nobody. They really leave Jersey alone like it's Staten Island or something. Yeah. Like, and nobody, they don't even show Staten Island love. Where's the community? They need to. I feel like New York, we be shutting down a couple boroughs. Like, we be blocking out Staten Island and all this stuff. But we need to show them love, man.
We do it instant. Yo, listen, I'm sure Staten Island's gonna get some dispensaries, and if I could be there, God willing, schedule. You know, if things work with the schedule and all that, you know, I will definitely be there.
Queens being the biggest borough, I feel like now, because of a couple more spots that are opening up in Queens, a lot of brands can come to Queens. Like, Like, they went to the Citadel. I've seen brands go to Citadel. There's not, like, a lot of spots where I've seen a lot of weed brands come to in Queens. They always go to the city, and they always do stuff over there. But I feel like I want them to come to Queens. 1, because it's closer to me.
Yeah.
2, is because it's the biggest borough in New York.
Yeah, there's a lot of history in Queens. People don't get that, man.
They don't focus on the fact that, like, here's a little tip for all the brands. Like, Queens has, like everybody.
Yeah, every background. I think we're outside of Manhattan, right? So if you put Manhattan aside, Queens is really the most diverse. We are the biggest borough, you know. So every nationality's here. Every nationality, every background, everybody's here. And everybody got like a little neighborhood type shit.
Yeah. You know? Everybody's over here. Everybody learns from everybody. And it's so connecting. You're connected to Long Island. You're in the middle of it, too. You're kind of in this middle of, like, the Brooklyn, Bronx. Manhattan is right there. Everything circle around there. But, yeah, I definitely want to see more brands come into it and start playing around. So let's start wrapping this up. Any last thoughts where people can reach you or your info?
Yes, sir. So you can reach me at Robb Reefa on Instagram. That's ROBBREEFA. Also Robb Reefa on YouTube. And you know, also check out the REFFA Radio page. That's the platform where we have the you know, all of the podcasts on there. So definitely check out REFFA Radio. And yeah, man, appreciate you for having us, for having me on, man. Thank you. Shout out to Queens on the Map 22.
Shout outs to you, bro. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Just real quick question I was curious about. Are we gonna start seeing you do more reviews on by anything like concentrates, edibles, and that type of sense, or is you gonna stay close to flower?
I'm probably gonna stay close to flower. I could do edible reviews. Concentrates, I don't, you know, my reviews is authentic, right? So I don't smoke concentrates on a regular basis like that. And I, like, you know, I've been smoking flower for a good portion of my life. So that's why I even felt like I could speak on that. Like, if I was to speak on a concentrate, which I can, and you know,
can, bro. It's your experience. You already been doing the thing. Like, it's not like you just,
So, you know, so
it's still weed.
I don't know why I even got that in my vocabulary. I definitely can do concentrate reviews.
Because I want people to bring you rosin, bro. I want you to do the reviews. Waves. Bro, you know, like it or not, type shit represent New York. Just with how you do your show, you carry that New York energy with it, you know? And I want people to bring you all different kinds of shit, you know? Yeah. I want them to flood you with concentrates, edibles, like, yo, try this, try that. And, I mean, shit, bro, I hope one day you start charging these motherfuckers for these reviews, too.
Yeah, for sure. You know, listen, I'm still early in it, and I'm still kind of in the process of perfecting my craft, so I definitely can charge, and it's going to be happening soon. There's some brands that's locked in with me. If you're locked in with me, you're locked in with me, man. But that is happening. It's on there. But that's not really why I was doing it. So that's why it's almost like I want to be careful how I go about the charging and everything, because that is coming. It's going to be happening. There's going to be a lot of exclusive reviews, so definitely subscribe to the YouTube. That's where I'm going to be vlogging a lot of it. So Robb Reefa on YouTube, and as well as you know, we're going to be capturing a lot that's going on. So we're going to be turning it up, but the charging is happening soon.
For sure. Thank you, Robb Reefa, for coming out, bro. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you do for us, bro. Keep doing your thing. Keep posting them videos, bro. We're loving it. Thank you for showing us love, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Salute. Love.
Thank you, brother.
22.
And we're out.